Hey, welcome back to A Faster Me. Haven't made a video in a little while. No racing basically since the off season's here, and just been training and working on a little bit of fitness stuff like that, trying to stay healthy, doing a lot of lifting. Anyway, so I just thought I'd throw this little training video out that we did today, and this is Highway 39, Azusa Canyon. So yeah, we did a couple of us, or a few of us, did hill repeats up the first part of Azusa. It's just a little segment that I made. It's like 1.2 mile segment, and we're just doing some like VO2 intervals. So yeah, it's a pretty good segment. It's maybe like a 7 minute, and you would just do the 7 minutes up. It's basically 1.2 miles at about just under 6% grade. It's like 5.5% average. And that's a good 6 to 7 minute effort. Yeah, and then you give yourself a little break, cruise down the hill, and repeat it. So we started here. We're gonna do a couple hill repeats here, and then after the hill repeats, we're gonna shoot over to the riverbed and do a little bit of other stuff. So yeah, in the off season, most of it's a lot of weightlifting and endurance rides, stuff like that. At least from what we do in our program. So yeah, a guy there, I don't know, he's a little ambitious with his attack here, but yeah, he puts in definitely a pretty good effort here. Came by with some speed. He was sitting on the wheel for a little bit as we started the mountain, but him and a couple of his friends. But yeah, I think he was a little ambitious with the attack here because he's gonna blow up pretty soon. Anyway, I have Marlena on my wheel, and it's basically me, Marlena, and Mark out doing these intervals. Um, it's a like I said, it's a pretty good effort. I don't have the highest like FTP or anything, so you know, 200. I mean, I'm sorry, 290, 280, stuff like that. That's VO2 for me. So I wish that was threshold for me. I haven't had a threshold like that since 2018. I think 2018 I was right at about 290. The official number was 289, but yeah, I haven't been that strong in a while. So pretty low FTP for me. So I was happy if I was over 275 on these intervals. I ended up being at 281, which was pretty good. Marlena, one of the people that I coach is Marlena Bemis, and Marlena is obviously getting a little stronger here too. She ended up averaging 274 for these intervals, for sure. On this first one, I believe she did 274, which is pretty good. I barely did 281, and she's a good 40 pounds lighter than me. So you'll see her come by in a little bit here. She just wasn't sure where the stopping point was. So we're basically going from the bottom of Azusa right after the equestrian ranch or whatever it is to the first dam. So I actually made a Strava segment for it. I think it's a Faster Me first downhill repeats or something like that. So you can see the guy in front of me kind of blew up a little bit now. He actually got a little bit of a second wind. He's just doing all he can to kind of stay in front of us. Definitely puts in a strong effort though. Marlena realizes sitting behind me that she can go a lot faster, so she ends up, going by and just keeping good momentum. Marlena has a really fast cadence also. She's routinely at about 100 RPMs. Like, it doesn't matter if it's crit races, regular rides, whatever. She's routinely at about 100. Produces good power at those RPMs as well. And it's not that she's not spinning out or anything. She's usually thrusting the bike forward. So, anytime you're that high, obviously you can spin out sometimes if you're not in the correct gear. But it's better to have in my opinion, to have a higher cadence because you can always slow it down a little bit. But when you have a really slow cadence, you cannot always speed it up. So anyway, so Marlena goes. She has a couple people on her wheel trying to keep pace with her. I think one guy does a pretty good job and stays with her the whole time, and then the other guy, he ends up cracking again, and I think I end up going back by him. So like I said, this is just like the first interval of our hill repeats. Normally we wouldn't be doing like VO2 intervals at this time of year, and we're not actually. We're just going to do one little block because it's good to still maintenance and service some of those other systems while you're working on like base training and endurance. I don't think you should be putting a lot of stress in your legs right now as far as like really hard efforts, but that's just me. I know, a lot of people like to just ride hard all year round, but we're really just putting in a lot of low intensity, long miles with a lot of lifting. And then, we still have some fun rides and stuff like that we do. But overall, it's going to be like a lot of endurance rides, a little bit of, a little bit of sweet spot and tempo work as well. And then we'll maintenance our, our VO2 or our anaerobic systems a little bit as well. So if you see that dam over there to the right, that's the end point for us right there, that dam. So once we get to like the driveway of that dam, that's the end of the interval. And we underestimated it a little bit because it's a little longer than I expected. I really wanted the VO2 intervals just to be about 5 minutes or so, but actually the KOM is like 5:12. So obviously something that I over or underestimated a little bit. I think my PR on this segment is like 6:30 or something like that. So definitely can't go much faster. But anyway, it was a beautiful day as well. As you can see, this is a beautiful road to climb. I know a lot of people don't like it because of the speed of the cars that can pass you, but for me, it's not that big of a deal. I like the road.
That's it right there.
So yeah, that's basically the end of one of the intervals, and then you coast back down and repeat. Like I said, I held 281, Marlena held 274, and I think Ellen held 243 or something like that. So yeah, then we came over here and did the Emerald Loop after, and this is it was basically going to be a zone 1-2 ride on the Emerald Loop, but anytime we're not doing like a pure endurance ride, because we started off with the VO2 intervals, and this is just kind of getting in some volume after the VO2 intervals. But what we like to do is, we'll maybe cruise the riverbed or something with a couple efforts in there, mainly sprint efforts after that. But we also play some games sometimes where we try to just sneak attack each other and, sneak attack and respond to attacks, all that kind of stuff. But here we're going to just do a little lead out practice. It's not like a true lead out practice because we're kind of just messing around. But yeah, there's a little segment up here that, we always get wrong because we don't know where the segment actually is. We don't know who made it or where it starts and where it ends. So we always kind of get it wrong, but this time we're going to try to perform a little lead out here. That's Mark in front of me. Mark's going to kind of set the pace in a second while the four of us PAA riders kind of argue about which order we're going in our lead out. And I don't mean really arguing, we're just kind of messing around, but just trying to figure out what order we're going to go in. So yeah, I think it's good just, riding with a good group of people that you kind of all doing the same thing. Because, honestly, when you're in your off season, and I coach everybody in this group. And a couple other people as well. But, it's good when you ride with people that are kind of doing the same thing. I know a lot of people like to just ride group rides all the time, but, group rides are really random. You can't, depending on who you are, you can't really go to group rides and work on something specific just because the group as a collective dictates what, pace you're going to be going and all that kind of stuff. So, it's really, it's really good when you have a small group of people that are kind of like on the same page that you're on and working on the same things at the same time. So you can just kind of coordinate a little bit and not have to worry about while you're doing your intervals, being able to keep up with the group, or maybe when you're in a recovery period and the groups end up going harder and then you don't have any recovery, stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, Mark's going to set the pace right here. The segment is kind of coming up, and he's not doing a lead out or anything right now. He's just setting the pace. He didn't know exactly what we were doing because he doesn't always ride with us, But we're just setting our order now. Ellen thought she was at work, so she started yelling at me like she was the boss. But overall, Joe's gonna lead out, and that's Joe Garcia. He's gonna start the lead out for us, and then Ellen's gonna go second. I will go third, and Marlena's gonna finish it off with the sprint.
Are you going up or not?
So once we get our act together, since we're debating right here, like what order we're going in, then Ellen moves up to go after Joe. And then of course, we start giving the commands, which is basically up, down, left, right, stuff like that. But just, communicating with your lead out of what you want them to do. If they're going too slow, if they're going too fast. I know some people just go as fast as they can, but it makes no sense if you drop your sprinters, or if you drop the number 2 person. You kind of want to gradually pick up the pace, and Joe does a great job here, just gradually picking up the pace. You can see I'm doing a decent amount of watts. I'm off to the side a little bit, but we're also going into a pretty stiff headwind here, which is unfortunate because, you don't typically want a headwind when you're trying to, pick up the speed and go for a Strava segment. So Joe does a pretty good job here getting us up to speed. I tell Ellen to come around him because the segment's coming up. So Ellen launches a little sprint here, give us a little bit more speed, and then I come around and just kind of gradually pick it up for Marlena to get her up to kind of top speed here. I think the segment was like 32 miles per hour, and I think we end up getting Marlena ends up getting the QOM here at 44 point something miles per hour average. So I'm just still building the speed here. Don't want to blow up too soon, and I don't want to sprint and leave Marlena. So kind of get by those guys right there, and then I just kind of pull to the side because now we're in the segment, and now Marlena can sprint by and just carry the speed on through. So I think she ended up averaging 44.4 or 44. I mean, sorry, 34.4, 34.5. So, but anyway, that's just our day. We ended up doing, I think, a little over 40, 45 miles or so on this day. Started off with some VO2 intervals, some hill repeats up Azusa, and then a nice little endurance ride with one lead out around the Emerald Loop. So hope everybody's enjoying their off season, and I'll try to get some more content out pretty soon. So yeah, thanks for watching.